Testing.
Test.
Testing. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all tuned in to the Fox Cave Chronicles. It's your girl Foxy here. And who we got in the cave tonight?
Clay Edwards, Save Jackson. What's up, folks?
Clay Edwards is in the Fox Cave, y'all. We are definitely glad to have him here tonight. And we're ready to chop it up. But first, shout out to my team, Jonathan Hollins and Rooster Black. Rooster Black is in the cave tonight. Say something, Rooster.
Something, Rooster.
From way over there.
Way over here.
From way over there. I need you to come over here. Because we will be taking questions from the viewers tonight. So, I'm
Definitely take questions.
going to need you, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you. We are accepting all questions from the viewers tonight. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask Clay, send them, and we'll chop it up.
I'm looking forward to them. I'm going to hear what people got to say.
Hey, y'all
Ain't nothing
know.
off limits.
Hey, we nothing is off limits. Y'all hear that? Nothing. So feel free to ask whatever you like.
I should have dug up that old milk member tag, and I should
I would have loved to see that. I probably would have been trying to wear that thing tonight,
I can't find it if I had to.
So, man, that's definitely a conversation piece.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to all my amazing, wonderful sponsors for season 2 of the Fox Cave Chronicles. We're sending a huge shout out to Ayana Pride for being my very first sponsor for season 2 for the entire season of season 2 for the Fox Cave Chronicles. So big old shout out to her. We appreciate her for that. Shout out to Steve Hendricks over there at Hendricks Tattoos and Piercings right here in Jackson, Mississippi. If you're looking to get tatted up, if you're looking to get that piercing that you always wanted, he's the guy to go to. He got you. He gonna tat you up. He gonna pierce you. He gonna sleeve you up. He gonna everything. I don't know about everything, but he got you. So Google Hendricks Tattoos and Piercings. Facebook, Hendricks Tattoos. Instagram, Stevie Hendricks 87. He is the owner and the artist, y'all. Let's support Black-owned businesses. You hear me? Go spend some of that money with my boy. He got you. Big old shout out to him for being a sponsor for season 2 of the Fox Cave Chronicles. And we're sending a shout out to Cliff Brewster over there at Paul Moke Volvo, 740 Larson Street, Jackson, Mississippi. Listen, if you need a ride, he's the guy. He got you. He gonna take you out Mike and Ike and put you in something nice. I'm telling you now, y'all around here with all this money, but y'all still walking. Go get you a car, man. Cliff Brewster is going to give you something nice and affordable. So, once again, 740 Larson Street, Jackson, Mississippi. And make sure you tell them Foxy sent you. So we, big old shout out to Cliff Brewster over there at Power Mobile. Man, Latoya Lawson. It's the pink for me. It's the pink for me, baby. I seen it. I shared it, y'all. She's dropping, and she's definitely doing big things. Not only does she have the My Sitter book series, which you can purchase that on Amazon. Go ahead and purchase that so you can catch up, because she's about to drop the next My Sitter book series. So I heard that it's being edited as we speak, so that's coming soon. She's dropping books and hooks, man. She's also a female rap artist. Go check out all her videos on YouTube, and I just posted the pink in the Fox Cave Chronicles group. So big old shout out to Latoya Lawson for being a Silver Fox sponsor for season 2 of the Fox Cave Chronicles. And shout out to Benita McGee, who's just a family friend, and she just wanted to support the Fox Cave just because. You know, so we appreciate just that. You know what I'm saying? Those are the best sponsors just because.
They are. We've the Save Jackson page reached this level where people can be a supporter. And you pick a price, like $5, $10 a month, whatever.
Yeah.
I got like 50 people that send me $10 a month just for the calls. You know,
just for the calls.
It makes buying stuff like these lights and mics and stuff like that, and the gas you use doing this stuff.
I'm telling you, man,
it's a lot easier.
Most definitely. Shout out to Serena Davis over there at Paradise Skates and Events, 2460 Terry Road, Suite 1600s. Now, they are definitely doing big things. Also, the skating rink is now open for business, y'all. Grab your skates and come on out. Now, I want the flyest most dopest skates I can find.
I know.
I want
skates
lights.
like shoes.
I want lights. I want wings. I want everything. I want some outer space type skates.
Are they doing that now?
Man,
Are they putting lights on skates and stuff now?
Man, what?
I ain't been
Yeah.
to a skating ring in a minute.
Yeah.
Man, your skates gonna be.
I don't know why I'm surprised. I mean,
Man, my skates gonna win, motherfucking first prize.
we used to go to Fun Time over in Skateland. I mean, you couldn't wear the Buster Browns. You know, you had to get the speed skates. Like the Adidas, the black with the white stripes.
Yeah, for sure. Bringing back good times, man. It's good to have a skating rink in Jackson.
It is, man. You know, you look up and we ain't got a movie theater. We're about to get one in Fondren, though. But, you know, it's not going to be a big one, but it's going to be a movie theater nonetheless. You know, you get a skating rink, you got to support these things. If you want it, you got to support it.
Most definitely. So, 2460 Terry Road, Suite 1600. Listen, they have Lip Sync Fridays also. That's every Friday night. Lip Sync Fridays. The doors open at 9 and the show starts at 11. You can come out, have a good time, enter the contest, and win some cash. I mean,
And you ain't got to be able to sing.
right.
Just pretend.
That's the best part.
Just pretend.
That's the best part. So, big old shout out to Serena Davis and Paradise Skates and Events for being a Red Fox sponsor for season 2 of the Fox Cave Chronicles. And shout out to OG Snap as well. What it do, Snap? We appreciate you for being a Red Fox sponsor as well. Snap is doing big things. He's working on an album that's getting ready to drop. And I mean, he's one of the hardest working artists that I know amongst others. You know what I'm saying? So just for, you know what I'm saying, taking time out to be a sponsor for my platform, I appreciate that. So big old shout out to OG Snap, man. For real.
It works, man. I never heard of them just now. So,
Yeah,
you know.
you gotta check them out.
You gotta check 'em out.
If you or anyone you know would like to be a sponsor for season 2 of the Fox Cave Chronicles, shoot me a message. I have 3 sponsor packages available. You could do the Arctic Fox, you could do the Silver Fox, or you could do the Red Fox. Either way, you can't lose. So hit me up and I can give you the details about being a sponsor. Clay Edwards.
Fox.
Let's get into it. Let's chop it up, man.
I've been excited. You know, when you first asked me to do this, you know, we were trying to get the line up a date for about a month or 2 or 3.
Forever.
You know, I think season 1 had just ended, and so we had to kind of wait. You know, and man, it was touch and go this week. Had a sinus infection all week, and I was like, man, just get well enough. You know. I'm excited. I've been ready for this. You know, I got a chance to be up in this old building. I ain't been in this building in 15 years.
How does it feel?
Well, it ain't the same spot, but for the better. It's nice, man. But it brings back memories.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, most
I
definitely.
like it. It's gonna be when this spike is rolling. It's gonna be nice.
Yes, definitely. So Clay Edwards, I don't know too much about you. I want to know where you're from. I want to know where you grew up. I want to know everything. You know, so let's start with a little bit about your
I'll
background.
give you a little synopsis. So, grew up over off Raymond Road, right over there on Castile, a Shady Lane, Castile, right down from where Sack and Save used to be. So it'd be like the New Horizon Church. Grew
Right.
up right down there until we were about 15, until I was about 15. Then we moved out closer to the Elton Road area. Stayed out there for a long time. Born and raised, South Jackson. Just moved out of Jackson about a month ago. After the water thing, that was it. You know, I was like, I got 3 daughters and a wife, and you know, girls need water worse than Clay does.
We all do.
I mean, I ain't got but a little bit of hair. You know, I can make it work. I can go out and go, you know, dip and dive in the shower. You know, take a little hoe bath, but. You know, but the girls can't do that, man. So I had to get them, you know, over where we weren't depending on Jackson water.
Now, Clay, I have so much stuff that I want to chop it up with you about, from Save Jackson to your experience with clubs and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even I've been researching your page and going through a lot of your pictures and stuff, and I mean, you know some people. You met some people as well.
I've lived an interesting life. You know,
Yeah.
somebody tells me all the time, man, you should write a book. I'm like, well, I was partying so much I can't remember all of it if it wasn't for the pictures. You know, but it's been fun. I kid a little bit, but we all go through that. Everybody calls it seasons. You know, we go through seasons, you know, and you grow up a little bit. And it's fun. I'm glad I did it. I don't regret anything. They say the tombstone, the days between when you were born and when you died, that little dash right there, that dash is supposed to represent your life. I hope my dash is about that long.
Yeah.
So.
I want want to talk about the player Clay Edwards with Tommy Hilfiger on and all that. Let's start with him.
And that was good times. Like I said, you grew up in South Jackson in the 90s. It was a different time. You know, you had white folks and black folks, and everybody hung out together. You know, we don't do that like we used to. So when we were riding up and down McDowell Road, cruising, fighting, doing all that nonsense, you know, rap music was just, Pac and them just died. I guess I was about 96. So I was about 18, 19, you know, somewhere in there. But lived through the Pac era. That's when we were really kind of coming of age. I was a Pac guy.
And I got him.
I know. NWA, can't say the other word, the other version of it. F.Y. Zaggin, the last NWA album. First rap CD I ever owned, listened to the car. I remember when I first got my driver's license. I told the story the other day. When I first got my driver's license, I just couldn't wait to get in the car and listen to music with cuss words without my parents. You know what I mean? And so that was the first CD I put in. I had that Metallica Black Album. I was like, I'm gonna ride around, listen to some rap and some heavy metal. You know, and we were windows down all the way. You know all the songs on Zaggin. Now, I ain't got to do it. But riding around through the parking lot, make sure everybody knew that those cuss words were coming out of my window. You know, and then we transitioned into the No Limit era, and I just think that took over. You know, that took over the South. It was a lifestyle. You know, that's when we kind of started getting into the club business and throwing parties, and techno stuff was really big at the time. Like I was saying, it wasn't always my thing necessarily, but it was a lot of other people's thing. I'm not above throwing a party and making money on somebody else's thing. You know, so we had a good time with that. That picture I showed you with me and one of the guys from Dayton family, when I had on the No Limit medallion. That would have been around 96, 97. Man, I mean, we didn't take the foot off the gas till 2010. You know, we had a couple clubs, but everybody knows me from 105. And we did that for almost 10 years.
So was 105 the first?
No, it was the second or third, kind of depending on the timeline and if you want to consider when I was partnered with somebody else or this, that, and the other. But Crazy 8 would have been the first out in Byron, which was me and the family.
That's where it started.
Yeah, I was a partner and worked in some other ones here and there, learned the business. But Crazy 8 out in Byron, we opened it August 10th, 2001. So September 11th happened 30 days later. And we thought, well, that's it. There goes the club business. So that was on a Tuesday. And that Thursday would have been about our third or fourth college night. Like, man, I don't even know why we opened it. Man, it was our biggest night to date. College kids don't care. You know, as you get a little older, you kind of start paying attention to things you probably used to not pay attention to, especially, you know, when you invest in the business and stuff like that. And probably pay too much attention to the news and everything. Man, college kids don't care. I had to look back now. I got a 19-year-old daughter. She's out. Her older sister, they go bar hopping and stuff, and they don't care what's going on in the world. You know, we get to a certain point, we care. But anyway, I digress. We did that. It was a blast. And then we opened up. We ran about 2 or 3 years out there. We expanded a little too soon. We went from about 2,500 square feet to 5,000 square feet. No, I'm sorry, from 5,000 square feet to 10,000 square feet. Well, the problem with that was we were doing some concerts. We pack it out for a concert. But if you ever thrown a concert, you know that just because packed don't equal paid.
That's true.
Packed don't equal paid.
That's true.
And man, you can put 1,000 people in somewhere and lose money. And people don't understand that. So anyway, it just got harder and harder to fill up the big building. You know, you get 500 people in there and it look half empty. But then you got 10,000 square feet. So long story short, we moved downtown. The old catwalk became available. It had been available, but the guy wouldn't rent it forever. Finally, I knew somebody that knew him, and they made it happen. And we went down there. Our rent cut in half, and our profits doubled. Man, we ran for 10 years. We had some good times down there. You know, and that was ushering in, you know, I guess we call it the crunk era. You know, Lil Jon and all that was just starting to really, you know, T.I. and what's the other dude's name? Trillville and all that. What was that dude's name that came out of Trillville?
You want to talk about
Scrappy, yeah. Scrappy. That whole era jumped off, and that's what 105. 105 peaked. We had a 105 and upper level kind of at the same time.
IoT era.
And man, you know, they were always doing big concerts, which I ain't never had no problem with those guys. Always got along well. But they would always do big concerts and charge them more to get in. We just always charged $10 cover. If you brought a bottle, it was $10 for the bottle. It never changed. So instead of somebody having to go pay $100 to get in somewhere, people like that consistency. You had DJ Too Tall bringing it in every weekend. So I like consistency. You know, you may lose a little on the front end, but long term you're going to win. If people know exactly what they're coming to, no change, you don't change up, that's going to be your longest, best formula for success in the club business.
So Clay, when this finally came to the end, like, what were you thinking then? Like what were you thinking? Like, what do I do now?
Yeah, I brought on some business partners because I was like, I wasn't satisfied. I wanted more. And you should always want more, but think it out a little better. You know, really put pen to paper, figure out who you're working with, that they ain't close friends. Really avoid business partners, period. It just never ends well. At least for me. So we changed it over to touch at that point. Redid it, you know, made it a little too fancy, alienated our crowd. That ran about a year. At that point I was broke. You know,
Same building.
Same building. That would have been between 09 and 10. Kind of the wheels came off. Woke up broke on my parents' couch. You know, around summer. It would have been around summer of 2010, somewhere in there. I was like, man, what the hell am I gonna do? I ain't never worked for nobody else, really. Not since I was a teenager. You know? And the life had been sucked out of me. I'd done a lot of drugs, a lot of partying, a lot of drinking. You know, I was like, I probably ain't a very desirable candidate for a job, you know? So I held out a little hope that a nightclub would fall out of the sky with all this experience I had. Mm-hmm. And then that didn't happen, to say the least. So I had a bunch of friends in the car business. I was like, well, man, if these guys are clowns, if they can make $50,000 a year, I can make $50,000.
Friends clowns.
Yeah, well, I mean, they call me worse. So we did that for a while. Well, it took about 3 years to get to that money, to get to that $50,000, $60,000 a year. You know, we do better than that now. I want to say we, I just mean me and the family. You know, it's better than that now, but it takes a while, man. I've been in the car business 10 years now. I jumped back in the club business for a few months. We opened up 110, and we brought some big shows to town. Did really well. We brought Kevin Gates to town on a Wednesday night and did 2,300 people in a club on a Wednesday night. And it's the only big show like that I've ever done where I could honestly tell you, I showed the pictures, it's half white, half black. You just don't see that in Jackson too often. And we were really proud of that, you know, kind of bringing the city together, bringing everybody together. It was funny. I was like, I think the only fight that popped off that night, this black girl beat this white dude's ass because he grabbed her ass. I was like, I was like, yeah, you don't see that out in Madison, do you? So, Becky ain't got that.
No comment. No comment for me.
So we ran that for a while, man. I realized at that point I was getting closer to 40. I'm 43 now, so I guess I was 38. I just had a stomach surgery too. And it was just tired. Realized that, you know, after 5 years away from the business, that it just wasn't for me anymore. But I got that last gasp and kind of got to go out on my terms instead of the train wreck that was when 105 and touch and all that ended.
So, from clubs to cars.
Yeah, man, I've been doing the car business for 10 years. I like it. If you got to have a quote-unquote real job, it's fun. I work for some good people. They make, you know, it's all who you work for. You know, or work with. They don't treat us like employees. They treat us like family, and that makes a huge difference. You know, I don't dread going to work. Don't get me wrong, I'm tired. I get up, I go do radio, then I go work for 10 hours a day, then I go home and do the stuff I do there. I probably sleep about 5.5 hours a night. You know, but
I can relate.
No grind, no shine.
I can relate.
I wasted a lot of years that I should have been hustling, and I got that drive now, and I don't want to waste it. So, and work ethic, you know. You see other people do it. It ain't about luck. I mean, you create your own luck. You know, and look at you. I mean, you hustling. You doing what, 2 shows tonight?
Yeah.
You got somebody else coming in after me?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. It's hard. I mean, look, I get up here and I struggle every day to put together an hour's worth of content to get on the radio and talk about. And once I sit down and start talking, it gets easier. But when you're prepping, you're like, do I have enough material? You know, it's like, have I done enough? But you know, you're right. If you put in the work, you do. It's been fun. I mean, I get compliments from people now over my work ethic and the amount of time I put in every day. And somebody sent me a message the other day that I ain't talked to nobody, and I just want to give you a compliment that I know you're still doing the car business, you get up on the radio. That was like the best compliment I've gotten in a long time.
Yeah.
Just that somebody noticed the hard work.
Feel good though.
It did, man. It actually made me want to get up and work hard.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, somebody saw that. And we always compliment people on their hustle and their grind. I know you do it, I do, especially people in the entertainment, grinders, people who are making their own money.
Exactly.
And I just respect that. That's why I wanted to come do your show. I was like, because I wanted to, I don't know if you want to call it giving back or giving in or whatever, man. But I like what you're doing, and I wanted to be a part of it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I wanted you to be a part of it as well,
Yeah.
you know. Okay, so here we go. Let's get off into Save Jackson, man, because you know the people just, I've been getting a lot of, you know what I'm saying, messages and stuff, what have you. But you're here tonight, okay? And let's start off with the reason why you even started the Save Jackson page. Like what inspired you to even do this?
So it's not nearly as evil as most people would think. The Save Jackson page, actually, after I got out of the last club, I had this Facebook page called JXN MS Promo. And I just promoted businesses for free, local businesses. It didn't really take off. And I started, a couple people paid $50 a week to get their stuff out there. It had like 1,500, 2,000 followers. But I had an IG page for 10,000 followers, which is now the Save Jackson IG page. But so I was riding around at work one day, and I said, I'm going to ride through the metro. I ain't been over here in a long time.
Right.
Let's go take some pictures. And I rode through, wouldn't even want to take pictures, and I just saw how empty it was. It looked like it was out might as well be in the middle of the desert. I said, you just don't see this every day. I watch these like dead mall videos on YouTube and these urban exploration videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I just took some pictures of the metro. And man, it went viral. Locally. 5,000, 6,000 shares, stuff like that. Which I had never seen nothing like that on the internet before. Not for me.
Right.
And I was like, oh, people like this. So I started riding around, and I was like, well, coming from the club business, I worked at Inez's on Bailey. I worked at just about every legendary club in town before I ever owned one. And I said, we're going to take a picture of all these old clubs and kind of what they look like now. And that popped. It's that post still gets more engagement than any other post. About 30 different pics of buildings or property where the buildings used to be. Now, and everybody goes and tells their story about it. And it just kind of shows, people like this kind of content. Mm-hmm. And forever, I didn't even want people knowing it was me, because I was like, it's just easier to do this if nobody knows it's me.
Right.
I can just, and it wasn't like I was talking shit about people. I was just posting the stuff, and it's just like, it makes it easier if nobody knows it's me. Well, finally, it just kept growing and growing and growing, and the Facebook page just blew up. I mean, it blew up by my standards anyway. We're at 30,000 followers now, which just blows my mind. Because that page has had it since 2015, and up until, 2 years ago, it only had 1,500 followers.
Right.
So it just, and it was like, well, there may be an opportunity. So started doing videos and all that. I was like, it was one day last summer. So how I got to doing like the live videos. Well, I started doing the ride around stuff and whatnot. I started a YouTube channel and needed something for it. But I never planned on sitting down behind a desk and running my mouth. That was like never part of it. But I did want to start a podcast at some point and just tell old stories about Jackson. So I was like, man, if I don't just tell the world I'm going to do it, I'll never do it. But once I feel accountable by putting it out there, because I don't want people to think I just say stuff and don't follow through. So I got this logo done called Jackson Uncensored. And I had a Facebook group called Jackson Uncensored. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I like that name. Even though it wasn't the Save Jackson name, but I kind of like to keep separate. Save Jackson, Clear, which is Clear. Because I like to be able to talk about national stuff too, and I think that belongs on a page called Save Jackson. So that's why I started the whole Clay Edwards podcast, or Jackson Uncensored. But so I threw the logo out there. I said, I guess if you just want to, sometimes they don't let you in, you got to kick down the door and just push yourself in.
True.
Well, Napoleon Edwards, Cypher Voice, didn't even know him at the time. He saw the logo and he sent me a message. He's like, hey, I like your logo. I follow your page. Why don't you come on the show? And he had a radio show out there at WPBQ at the time. I was like, well, yeah, I'll do it. And got out there, man, and it popped. I enjoyed talking. People enjoyed our two perspectives on things, so we did a show every Sunday for a while. And Sundays just got hard. He was doing a show 7 days a week at that point. I was working 7 days a week by doing a show on Sunday. So we just agreed to kind of go our separate ways, and I started doing my live feed from the house. And one thing led to another, and I started getting some sponsors, and then I started paying to get my podcast put on a radio station. I'm like, let me just, so I can get it out there to people who might not be following me. So I bought an hour of radio every Saturday and just aired my podcast. Well, the radio station was getting some reaction from it. So they're like, hey man, how would you like to come in and start doing live every Monday? And you can sell spots for it. You don't have to rent the space from us. It'll be like a real radio show with commercial breaks and everything. So yeah, just keep saying yes. Just keep saying yes. And then we did that for, I think, 3 months. And they said, hey, how would you like to be our new morning guy? 5 days a week. And that was the goal. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't think it was attainable in such a short amount of time. The goal, I've got a text where I sent the podium, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, that said, man, Happy New Year. My goal for both of us is I think we're both going to be 5 days a week on the radio somewhere. And here it was April, and already there. It started the 5 day this past Monday, last week. I gotta readjust my goals, man, because the main one I had professionally, I got 4 months into the year.
Awesome.
But so back to the Save Jackson. I know that's what people want to hear about, not just about my progress. But I know I catch a lot of flack about it. Okay, Claire, you're a racist because you're a white guy posting about a black city. I get that all the time. How can you do? You must not live here. You ain't from here. I'm like, check the resume.
Yeah.
I promise I'm from here. I offered $1,000 bounty if anybody could prove I didn't live in Jackson. I had never lived in Jackson.
Yeah.
Nobody could cash in. Now I moved a month ago, as I said. But prior to that, 43 years. Well, I lived in Los Angeles, California for 1 year, like 99 or 2000. Moved out there with some buddies just to see what the rest of the world looked like. But other than that, lived in Jackson, Mississippi. So no, I'm not a racist. But I can look and tell you, I can look at Jackson. Like me and you can both look at the same building and say, that's fucked up. We can both look at the metro and say, I wish that went into it. We can both look at these roads and say, I had a blowout yesterday leaving work. In the same curve that I've had 2 blowouts in, leaving work, where 220 merges into I-20. You're not gonna say, can I cuss one? I've been cussing. Is that all right? All right. I guess too late now. I say fuck so much that I forget it offends me. But it's just, we can argue. We talked about this before we went live. We can argue about how we got here. It don't matter how we got here. We're here. What are we gonna do to change it? Politicians ain't do it. So what are we as a community gonna do? Now, I have been on the ship of, it ain't our job if we ain't robbing, stealing, killing, littering, drug dealing. If we just do our simple parts, pay our taxes and work, that it would autocorrect somewhat. If you just quit doing these things, the city will autocorrect. People quit shooting each other. We have a mutual friend. I'm not gonna say her name on the radio, on the show here. She was working in the city. Some guys run by and shot up a house. Right across the street from where she was at. She got out there, prayed with those folks. So she was out there praying with them. People came back and shooting the house up again. Again. Now, you ain't heard nothing about that on the news. And I hope you don't. There's no point in it. But where are we at? A 6-year-old got shot, not last night, night before last, on Houston Avenue. 6-year-old. How many kids have been shot? Indirectly. Or unintentionally, should I say. In the last year or so. Sleeping in their beds, all that. But we got to get to a point where this ain't happening. If that don't frustrate you, I don't know what does. So people are like, why don't you ever post anything positive? I'm like, there's plenty of other pages around here posting positive stuff. This positive solutions only ain't working. So I bring stuff to light. Our hell raising is getting that hotel torn down on the corner of Ellis and 8.
I just saw that. I went live the other day on that. Our
hell raising got Pearl Street A&B Baptist Church, whatever, to finally get the wheels in gear to get the other hotel right around the corner, the one up on the hill. They're tearing it down. I don't want to take sole credit for it, but I know nothing was being said or done about it until guys like me and some others started really putting them on blast and tagging the people that have it. Tagging the city of Jackson owns a bunch of this abandoned property around here. They don't enforce their own code laws. You run up some of these buildings, the grass is growing up, homeless people living in them, all busted up, and they got the audacity to enforce code laws on private businesses. They're on this big fuss now about having to build wood privacy fences around your dumpsters at a business. But you ride down some of these roads and they look like a city dump.
True. That's
You know?
true.
So I've reached a point where I'm more mad about the bad stuff than I can be happy about some of the good stuff. Because the scales are so tipped to the bad. And when I grew up in the city, man, I've got what arm is it on? Right there.
Yeah.
Welcome to fabulous Jackson, Mississippi.
Go there.
You know, I didn't get the city. That was a Highway 80 tattoo there, but got tired of having that conversation with people all the time. Once I started working on Highway 80 and had a Highway 80 tattoo, it wasn't funny no more. I was like, I don't want this no more.
Dude, man.
So man, I love Jackson, but I just hate where it's at right now. You know, it's just like, man, what happened? You know, we can't blame it on everybody moving. People still live here. You know, there's still stuff here. We can't, everything can't be because of white flight. If you tell me everything's because of white flight, then you're telling me that black folks can't do it without white people, and I don't believe that. So I don't buy into the white flight thing. I think that is an excuse by politicians that don't want to do what they're supposed to do.
Speaking of politicians, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to know, like, what's your thing with the mayor? Like, why he's always bad talking to the mayor, and he's blaming the mayor for everything. Like, so let's talk about that a little bit.
All right. Just from a job perspective, you got 4 years on your resume. You do anything else for a living. Can you write down 10 of the mayor's accomplishments? I can't. You got 4 years. If I had that same resume of things I've accomplished versus bad things that have happened under my watch, I couldn't get a job anywhere else doing the same thing. I'm about to elect this guy here for another 4 years. That this police force is falling in half. I don't care what your thoughts on police are. The presence of police should deter crime. People shouldn't have to wait an hour for a 911 call when they're in an emergency, if it's an emergency. There are useful purposes for a good police department in the city of Jackson. Obviously, we're on pace for 150 murders this year. Not again. To break 129 last year, we're at 49 as of today. We can't let this become normal. You know, we were talking about shootings and 6-year-olds getting shot. Where are the marches and the protests and the hell raising for this? I'm not saying that everybody's got to do it. I don't care. You know, I don't get into that BLM marching for this and not for this stuff that a lot of other people in the comment sections do. It's not. I don't care what you march for. But we should all get out and raise hell. Our pastors should have had enough. We all should. It shouldn't even have to start in the churches. You know, I'm just aggravated about it. I don't think the guy's a good mayor. You know, that's all I got. It ain't personal. I'll drink a beer with it. But professionally, once you step into politics, you're in the public forum. I kind of inserted myself into the public forum by becoming a political pundit, or whatever you want to call it. You know, so people come at me all the time. It's just part of it. You know, but he ain't done anything. You know, he's really good at making excuses about why this didn't get done, lying about our water, the EPA thing. That's the problem.
Okay. What about you have people that say, okay, well, you can't blame him. These are problems that have been ongoing from mayor to mayor to mayor. One mayor can't get everything done under one term, and you know this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. So, how do I
reconcile that? I will buy that, but I will also say that pick something and excel it. Like, give me what do we do? And we can't blame it all on COVID because that was only the last year. That was year 4 of 4 years. That was the 4th year. What did we do the other 3? You know, or have our schools gotten any better? No. Have our roads gotten any better? No. Where's the improvement at? Year 1 through 3. Even if you chalk up year 1 as an adjustment period, learning what's going on. The guy had never been a mayor before, never been in politics. There's a lot going on to a big city. I don't think mayor should be able to be your first job. And I know I'll sound contradictory because I don't think president should be either. You should have had some kind of political, you should be a city councilman before you're a mayor, just so you know what's going on, how the city works, the inner workings. So anyway, let's give him the first year, learning where the bathroom is. You know what I mean? Years 2 and 3, what did you do? I just don't, I can't find anything I can say, yeah, he can hang his hat on that. So, well, that's where I'm at with the mayor. It was time for a change. Jackson, unfortunately, I don't believe it's going to happen. I mean, I like some of the other people running, but let's be realistic. They're probably not going to win. You know, most of you, I brought a guy's name up to you, you never know.
I did.
You know, so I think Jackson's at such a bad spot that viable candidates don't even want the job. You know, like normally you hear about a councilman coming up that wants to do it. DeKeith or Stamps is somebody I thought would have made a great mayor. He jumped that, you know, became a state representative, which I think is higher, you know, in my opinion is higher than a mayor. He has bigger sights. I would have loved to see DeKeith run. I think he's a born and raised South Jackson guy. You know, just as a South Jackson guy, I'd love to see him in there. So, and again, I know people go back to like white guy bashing black guy. It's got to be because chocolate's black. I don't do it. I don't care. You know, if you can do the job, I don't care. Jackson's had black mayors my entire adult life. You know, since Harvey Johnson. What was that? 2000, 2001, something like that. Late 90s, early 2000s. So that's a good point for me.
Back to St. Jackson now, okay. He has the St. Jackson page that's supposed to be so great and all this and that. But now it's turned into him bashing Jackson and shining the spotlight on all the negative and bad stuff that's going on. So how can he talk about saving Jackson? He doesn't even, and we know you just moved, you know, but, you know, a lot of people saying you didn't even live here, even though you have lived here. You know.
So the name came from the empty buildings, because that's where it started. So when I said Save Jackson, I always loved the JXN. That's the abbreviation with the airport, the JXN. I always liked that. There were them shirts that said Run Jackson or like Run DMC.
Yeah.
I always liked that. So I was like, Save Jackson. And I always had an infatuation for that Sun and Sand hotel sign.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me just plug the two together. You know, I can't get sued for it because nobody owns the rights to it anymore. You know, so I was like, I could kind of steal that. And it was made for a cool logo. And I like the name. But it was never necessarily about, again, this was never supposed to grow to this.
Right.
You know, it's like I didn't start out one day and say, this is my business model. You know, it was never that. It was, I'm taking pictures of empty buildings. People really like this. And I'd be lying if I didn't like the attention. You know, he's like, oh, people like that. Let's move forward. You know, and one thing led to another. It just kept growing, man. And I do post good stuff too, man. We raise money for charities. We do all kind of stuff. But people don't always see that because positive stuff, what's it saying? A lie will get halfway around the world before the truth leaves the street, the block. You know, the negative will go around the world twice before something positive leaves the neighborhood. You know, people can say whatever they want. I can stop out here and give $100 to somebody random walking down the road, put it on video, which I don't like doing that. I don't like popping for the gram like that. But I could put a video of them fighting out of the juicy crab and get 20,000 views on YouTube and 100,000 views on Facebook or whatever. I could do that. You give $100 to somebody and you get 10 views. I'm not saying you should be doing anything for views, but my point being, people share the negative crap and they don't share the positive stuff.
That is true. That is true. Speaking of that, man, what you think about that what happened out there in that crab place, man?
Yeah, look, man, it's fun I say it's fun to laugh at because it's so crazy, right? If you don't, my tagline for St. Jackson
was open the whole time I was watching it, bro. I was like,
my tagline for St. Jackson has always been, I'm laughing to keep from crying. You know, I'm just kind of laughing to keep from crying because it's that bad. But I got a soft spot. Some say I have a blind spot for clubs and bars and and stuff like that, but I don't call out what goes on in the clubs and bars around here. And I don't. I really don't. I got friends that own the M Bar, friends with Benz and them. Friends with people that own Pops, well, that's Benz and them now too. You know, spent 20 years in that business. I understand it. We're in a bar now. You can't legislate through a whole lot morality. If people are gonna come and act up, people are gonna act up. I mean, what's that restaurant supposed to do? Have cops in a restaurant because they can anticipate some fools fighting? It just happens. It is what it is. When there's a shooting outside the M Bar in another parking lot, I don't think that's the M Bar's fault. You know, or anywhere else for that matter. I mean, there's other factors at play, but I'm getting a little off track here. But that's been on my heart a little bit, you know, about that, because people are like, man, why don't you ever talk about this or talk about that? I'm like, man, I have a blind spot for that because I did it for so long. You know, but so I don't always point out every bad thing, but I will point out a kid in her bed getting shot. You know, just because some fool's riding by. Dude, I don't even know what they're doing, man. Who are they shooting at? People in this town need to get target practice. If you're going to be doing this stuff, they'll learn how to shoot your gun. That probably sounds terrible coming from me, but if you can use one bullet and get the person you're trying to get, much less six, and accidentally shoot a kid, it is. Don't take my advice here. Don't go take target practice to learn how to go shoot people, but learn how to use your gun. You know, take a gun safety course. You know, there's a gun insurance thing, a USCCA, something like that. And basically it protects people who have to use their firearm to protect themselves. But the courses you go through with it teach you. I don't know if everybody understands, and it's only the only sense I can make of it. Some of the consequences and repercussions that come with pulling that out and using it. You know, I want a gun. I want a bunch of guns, and I don't even consider myself a gun guy necessarily, not by redneck standards anyway. You know, I ain't shot my guns in 2 years. I don't want to waste my ammo.
I want to kind of piggyback on that one, just to interrupt, but to kind of piggyback on what you said, I think it's more of not that folks don't know how to use their guns in a sense, because what you implying is pretty much protecting yourself.
Yeah.
People need to learn to solve their problems without malice.
Absolutely. Conflict resolution is a big problem.
Definitely.
You know, and I'm just saying in a worst case scenario, if you feel like you got to use your gun to defend yourself, learn how to use it properly.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not articulating it right, but
right.
If your life is in danger, and you feel like the only way you can get out of that situation is by using your firearm, by all means use your firearm. But this just drive-by shootings and just spraying, this ain't working.
Ridiculous.
You know, more innocent people. I mean, even I don't know what we use the word innocent people, like the people they were coming to shoot weren't innocent just because they were coming to shoot them. The unintended victims are getting shot than the intended victims. I don't know what you do, man. Again, I go back to there's more police, the presence of more police riding the neighborhoods. Does that deter some of that? I can only speak for myself, but I know when I see the cops, I slow down. I'm like, don't do that.
Listen,
I'm just in my mentality. You see the police,
and that's me hard. They go to police.
Yeah, I mean, like I see people all the time.
This way, man.
People all the time like to argue with me on Facebook. They're like, more police ain't gonna do nothing. They can't predict crime. I'm like, it ain't about predicting crime. We know that if somebody decides to shoot somebody up in their house or their yard, the police can't predict that. But I also go back to, you know, we use the term gateway drugs a lot. Like, your first drug leads to your next drug, usually. Most people, crack ain't the first thing they smoked, I would assume. Heroin ain't the first thing they banged in their arm, I would assume. They probably started with pain pills, worked their way to heroin because they couldn't get any more pain pills. Probably started out with coke, couldn't get any more coke, smoked crack. Adderall leads to more meth addiction in my community than any other stepping stone drug. I look at crime the same way. So, say I go in a store, 10 years old, decide to steal some candy, I get away with it. Next time I'm like, hey, I'm gonna steal a stereo. Yes, breaking a car, steal a stereo, I get away with it. I'm untouchable. I'm gonna steal the car next time. Get away with it. I mean, you know, they ain't nowhere to put criminals. Can't put them in jail. They just release everybody on recognizance, just get them caught up in the system, paying on probation, paying fines, all this stuff. Same thing with suspended licenses. But then you're still a car. You're like, all right, got away with that. Still a couple more cars, work your way on up. I'll just carjack this. I ain't even gonna wait. I like that car. They're in it. I ain't gonna wait. I'm gonna carjack. Then they may accidentally kill. They have to kill somebody in that carjacking. So one crime leads to another. If you can intervene, like what the guys with strong arms of Jackson.
Shout out John Knight.
Benny Ivy, John Knight. We're involved in their program where I work in their employee placement program. They got a technical name for it. Where we're helping these, they ain't just kids, they ain't all under 18. And we help them, teach them life skills. Mm-hmm. This stuff I don't like talking about on Save Jackson page. I don't like people thinking, I guess I like playing the bad guy. I'd rather, like after I'm dead and gone, I'd rather people tell the other people the good stuff I did versus me get on social media and look at what I did. That rubs me the wrong way when other people do it. Some people really do it from the heart, and I respect that. But I think people would think it would be odd of me, right? At this point, if I started posting all my good deeds on Facebook, look at me. But I'd rather get somebody else to shine. Like last Friday, we rode over to what's it called? Shower Power. It's where the ladies got that bus. They go and all the homeless people come and take showers. It's grown so much. They're getting so many donations that they've got a building now, and the showers aren't even the biggest part of their charity anymore. Now they have a food pantry, a clothing store, a clothing pantry, I guess.
That's awesome.
And it's all set up over there off Commerce Street, and it's set up as a spot for homeless folks. They can just go through there and get a shower, get anything they need, canned food. I have to go point the camera at them and show what they're doing, not what I do. So I got a way off track there. If you let me run my mouth uninterrupted, I need to tell them where I'm going.
I'll be listening.
I've been looking for an opportunity like this where I could talk to folks, on another platform and get the questions. I like it. I don't mind it, because I know me. I know what's in my heart. So I'll take any question you got. I ain't running from nothing. And I like the opportunity. I appreciate the people watching and listening.
Yes, most definitely appreciate it.
Because you can still hate me when this is over with, but at least you hearing the truth come out of my mouth.
Right.
Hey, maybe this interview will make some of them change their mind.
I hope so.
Seriously.
Because I'm gonna still do what I do. I'm a smart ass, by nature. I'm from that generation, man. We grew up on South Park and all that stuff, man. Just a terrible mouth. I'm a smart ass. My sense of humor is dirty. So that translates into what I post on Save Jackson. Like I posted the thing last night about the pineapples hanging from the door in Madison. I take my shots at everybody. I have a filthy sense of humor. I still go to church every Sunday. We're all, I don't even want to call it flawed. We are just who we are. I'm never going to be that articulate guy. I'm never going to be like a Jeff Good, and I like Jeff Good. But I'm never going to be that politically correct guy. It's just not who I am. I'm going to be me. Like it or love it, or hate it. And I want to make people laugh. I don't want people to see what's really going on. A very popular term now is my lived experiences. That's what that's a big thing running in the political circles is you don't know their lived experience. Everybody doesn't know my lived experience. Grew up in South Jackson, born and raised. My dad owned my dad owned a store on Lynch Street. If you're of a certain age, everybody knows the shortstop. It was the first store with the draft beer. Had the Killian's Red on draft. I grew up on Lynch Street after school every day. And we didn't live but 2 blocks away. So it wasn't like it was that far from the house. Every day, man. Eddie Payton, Walter Payton, Eddie's son that played in Miami. When they were living up here, was always in the store in the summer and all that. Man, I just know all those cats. Stokes, we all know Stokes. Stokes, I don't mean Kenneth Stokes either. I mean OG Stokes.
I've been trying to get him on my show if he's watching. You know him? Hey, put a word in for
Stokes. Stokes is the one I would sit down and watch from beginning to end.
I've been trying to get him, man. I sent him messages.
He needs to do a podcast of his own. He's got so many stories and been down so many roads. And they don't call him OG for nothing. He is legit.
See,
one
that's
of the
why I want to
OGs.
sit down and get his story, man. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, that dude was as tight with UGK and Pimp C, still is. I mean, rest in peace, Pimp C. You know, but I love it now, hearing Stokes' stories. So, he's good people.
Yeah.
But I grew up down in the store, and I feel like that's something I don't mention a lot because I don't want people to think I'm just dropping, oh, yeah, he's trying to pull that. I grew up on Main Street hard. But it's an important part of who I am and where I got to where I got.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't, you wouldn't even speak on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And so we got out of that around 2000, started releasing that to some Iranians or something like that. It didn't go well. You know, I hear a lot. We always talk about black-owned and white-owned businesses and crap like that. I understand the concept of supporting black-owned businesses. That's why it's nothing I ever make a fuss about. I get it. I would like to see more black-owned businesses, but not because they're black-owned, but because they're American-owned. I think we should support American-owned businesses. What we've allowed to come in and happen in our inner cities, in our interstate exits through the city. No Americans own these gas stations. You know, you see, they just don't come here. This is where I get in trouble. But they just don't come here with the same, this is right, this is wrong. How about that gas station on the corner of Ellis and 80? There's a bum that sits out there in a chair. He's hitting people up walking the door. They're selling meth pipes, crack pipes, all that stuff. What good comes from that? What good should come from letting people sit out in front of a store at 3 a.m. drinking beer? You know, nothing good comes out of that. That all happens at these stores, these foreign-owned stores. I bring that up because the store on Lynch Street, Kiv and Brandon came down. I don't know what they're doing here. You know, there's multiple stories. It don't matter. He was down there. Some dude shot him in the parking lot. You know, they say maybe because they sold beer to underage kids or whatever. I think that's what the lawsuit boiled down to. Kid lost his life because these fools are running a bad business, enticing young kids to come buy alcohol at the end of the day. Whether that's the case or not, that's what it looked like. You know, I run by these stores. I don't want to get you in trouble by saying any of the stores by name on here, but it's right by there's a certain one of them that if they're popped up in your neighborhood, it's too late. So I look at it, it's too late. If they're here, you know, I'd like to see more. I would love to see more black-owned gas stations, convenience stores in Jackson. You need to build people in stores like that need to build a relationship with their community. It'll stop back on a lot of the robberies. People are a lot less likely to walk in and kill a clerk that they know, or rob a clerk that they know. Just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'd like to think that people are less likely to pop somebody off that they know in a gas station.
I feel that.
So I would like to see more local ownership. You know, not these guys that come in.
It would be great. It would.
They come in, they run these gas stations and whatever, these hotels, these rent by the hour hotels. Nothing good comes from that. We know what goes on in rent by the hour hotels. You know, I don't ever see no 18-wheelers parked out there, just some 18-wheeler drivers running in and taking a shower. Not that I'm riding by stalking them like that, but just, you know. But my assumption is they ain't got a lot of 18-wheeler parking. You know, it's hoes and drugs and all that. You know, what good does that do to the community? And that's the stuff that I look at and say, that's good, useful for the police department. The crime, the drug units and stuff like that. And against people doing drugs. Only against people running around all banged up on dope, walking up and down the streets looking like zombies. You want to get high at your house or in private or whatever you do, by all means, boo-boo, get high and do what you do. Don't affect me one way or another. I just don't like seeing it out in the middle of the street. You know, I don't like seeing these hotels pop up, these gas stations. They're like a
eyesore.
Like and a
They're sucking the life
breeding
out of it.
ground for it too as well. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I mean, one of the things the mayor likes to talk about a lot, and I don't necessarily agree with 100% or at all for that matter. He says all these murders are interrelationship. At the end of the day, domestic. You know, people that know each other. Well, I don't believe that, man. A lot of these, like, they were talking about shutting down the M-Bar because they had a couple murders in or around. What about these gas stations? I can think of 3 or 4 gas stations in the last year that have had multiple homicides in the parking lots. You know what I mean? Talk about even a broke clock is right twice a day. Me agreeing with Kenneth Stokes on something. One thing, he's the only councilman that gets up there and talks about we need to do something about these gas stations, these hotels. And he's 100% right, because he sees it. You know, and he ain't scared to say something about it. And I do respect Kenneth Stokes a lot for that. You know, and a whole lot of other stuff that he comes up with, and I'm like, it's kind of cringeworthy. But his take on these gas stations allowing a lot of this crap after 1, 2 in the morning. And the people will say, well, you know, in these communities, they need to be able to go get something at 2 or 3 in the morning. Now, what do you need at 2 or 3 in the morning that if it's that important, there's enough Walmarts in driving. If it's that urgent, you can run to Walmart. If you need some formula, you don't need to be running out of milk at 3 in the morning anyway. That's a personal thing. You know, you plan a little better. You know, people ain't in the store buying baby milk at 3 in the morning. They're in the store buying alcohol and cigarillos and cigarettes and whatever else. It's not front. I don't know, man. I'm bent on it. This goes back to where I talk about the negative makes me madder.
Yeah.
And the good makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know, because I see it. I see what happened. It started when we started leasing that store back in 2000 for folks. And I just watched it from then. You know, you start seeing these rent by the hour hotels pop up. I mean, I'm on Highway 80 every day, and I see this stuff. I ride down 80 especially from, say, Lynch back to the Pearl River Bridge. And there's more abandoned buildings falling in than there are open buildings. That's just disgusting. It's terrible. You know, it just makes me upset.
I hate to look at it.
That's why I bought the drone. So I can fly over and show people just how bad it was. Because a lot of it, you know, you just kind of see passing by, and you're like, oh, it's just an empty building. But no. These aren't just empty buildings. These buildings are condemned.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a cesspool for crime and everything.
You flew over. It was one that I watched. You flew over. I want to say, was it the old?
The Holiday Inn on 80?
Was it the old Enterprise building? I mean, was it the old? It was something on 80. That you went inside
Okay.
of it.
That wasn't actually me. I got in trouble with the FAA, Federal Flight Aviation people, for flying my drone in Jackson.
Damn, Clay. What?
Hey, look, man, they caught me. So when I set up the page, for shits and giggles, man, the phone number I put the mayor's office. You know, so like basically like the complaint line. So I just had to tell everybody that called wanted to cuss me out. They got the mayor's office. Well, they had been trying to get in touch with me for a while. They finally found my email address. And it was my day off work. It was on a Tuesday, and I happened to check my emails. Like, this is the FAA. You need to call us now, or we're coming to arrest you.
Oh.
So I had to take 4 hours out of my day off and take this long course about where not to fly my drone. You ever seen that Bart Simpson meme where he's on the chalkboard?
Yeah.
Like, I will not. It's like, I will not fly my drone in Jackson again. I will not fly my drone in Jackson again. Anyway, so I say all that. I got a buddy of mine that's got a drone, and he don't care. So I just share his videos now. But he flew through there, and he's got a different kind of drone. You wear like the goggles, and it's like a video game almost. And he's really good. He can fly through tight spaces and everything. But yeah, he sent me that video, that GE building. It's right across from Battlefield Park.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, I did actually fly over it when the first time I got the drone. I mean, he flew all through it.
Yeah, that's the one I watched where he was all through there.
Yeah, I was watching this documentary the other night about urban exploration in Detroit. And kind of that's where this whole urban decay, urban exploration stuff started. You know, as far as it becoming like a YouTube deal and people going and doing it. And I started like in the 2000s there. And that building's like our biggest empty, you know what they call it?
Eyesore.
White elephant. It's like our white elephant. It was the King Edward forever. Mm-hmm. And then they finally got it. I've got some pictures and video where we got drunk at 105 one night. And we went down there when they had just cleaned all the asbestos and stuff out. We went from the top to the bottom. We got pictures from the roof and everywhere. How cool would those be on Save Jackson now? If I could find them, they're on another computer somewhere. But again, you know, you're not thinking about that stuff 15 years ago when you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess I was into that stuff a long time before I realized I was into it. I wish there wasn't any empty buildings around here to go crawling through.
True. But unfortunately,
it is what it is.
It is.
They're brick buildings or wood buildings. They're not going to last forever. I get that too. You know, like somebody called me out the other day and I just had to tell them they were right. Like I was pissed off that they were tearing down the Sun and Sand. But it's just more of like we're tearing down all our historical stuff instead of rebuilding it. But it ain't my money. Nobody wanted to invest down there with it. So I get it. But I was like, oh, they're like, man, you bitch and raise hell all the time about people in these empty buildings. You should be happy they're tearing it down.
Yeah.
I was like, I know, but maybe it's just that one.
I hate to see that one go, man.
I hate to see that one go.
Seriously.
They're gonna keep the sign out front. I'm like, well, that's stupid. Put it in a museum. Take it out to the Ag Museum or something. Put it somewhere people can see it. Don't just leave a sign in front of a parking lot. That's just stupid, though. But whatever. I mean, I'm a complicated person too. Conflicted, complicated. I mean, there are days I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I want to do all this stuff, and then I see one thing on the way to work. Like I saw this dude panhandling at the corner of Elton and Terry Road. I'm like, Elton and Terry Road? They just shot my whole day, man. I was like, this is a mile from my parents' house. I mean, they're just coming closer and closer and closer. At what point, how many can be in Byron soon, one exit down. Like, how do you get a handle on that,
Like I was saying, man, it's just lead back to building up of years and years and years, and it's just like out of control. If you ask me, it's just out of control.
This story's come up a couple times this week. People keep always talking about I-55 and what's happening through the I-55 corridor from, say, north side to county line. All the businesses leaving, all those vagrants living under the bridge, all that crap going on to those gas stations there at what's the exit with, is it Atkins, Beasley? Yeah. Right by CarMax.
Yeah.
Those gas stations there and those hotels there. I worked at Hearing Gear Toyota right there on the hill for about 5 years, and I quit about 5 years ago. And I was telling myself, man, this is going to look like Highway 80 in 10 years. And it ain't much further away. If somebody don't come in there with a master plan and some ideas real quick, and it's just going to be abandoned. I mean, there's some big businesses leaving that area and they're just moving right over the county in the region. Big car dealerships, electrical stores. I mean, whatever. I mean, all those restaurants. Outback and Twin Peaks are closed. Those are two of the most jumping places in Jackson. We can blame it somewhat on COVID and this, that, and the other, but can't blame everything on COVID. I know 3 or 4 people had their cars stolen from the Twin Peaks parking lot, and dozens of others got them broken into. That's a policing problem. That's people saying, I don't even care. I ain't got no respect for these folks. I don't care. So,
let's jump on the Clay Edwards show. Let's jump on that. Let's talk about that. Tell us how this came so far and how can we listen?
Cool.
When does it come on and all that good stuff?
Now, I have to tell you, you inspired some of this. I saw where you had got featured in the Jackson Free Press for the podcast stuff. And I was like, how cool. I sent you the picture, actually.
Oh, man.
Remember that? I got the magazine and sent you the picture. I was like, hey, look at you. And
I didn't even know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it.
It was cool. That's why. So I started my podcast about the same time. The Save Jackson. I decided to call that the Save Jackson podcast. And to me, there's a difference. This is a live stream. A podcast is a voice only. Sit down, like I can go to like Podbean or iTunes, whatever, download that podcast. It's, by definition, a podcast. Sit down and record it on a mic, and then I put it out. It's not a live thing. And we were doing that, and somehow or the other, we got lucky and won the best podcast in Jackson. The People's Choice Best of Jackson thing. Caught me way off guard to come from the Jackson Free Press for me to win Best of Jackson.
Right.
I mean, people know I'm a conservative, and that's a very, very liberal magazine. So it was weird. Let me know that they don't rig that contest. Because if they did, there's no way in hell I would have won. So I was like, man, they actually counted the people's votes.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that rolled to, well, maybe we can do this on radio. And then I told you earlier on that on Saturdays I started buying an hour over at 103.9 WYAB. Same station that Kim Wade's on. Everybody knows who Kim Wade is. The reaction was well. They said, hey man, come do Mondays live. And we won't charge you. I was like, all right, got to get up early, and then we did that for 3 months. It was going well. They said, hey, you keep selling advertising and, keep keep people calling, keep people interested. You want to do 5 days a week? You're a morning guy. You know, so here I am. You know, I hope it'll expand. It's from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., 7 to 9 on Mondays.
Yes.
We got 2 hours on Mondays because I fill in for the guy that does the second block there. But and we hope to expand it. You know, he's winding down, getting a little up there. You know, so maybe we'll either go 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. I don't know that I want to have to get up at 4 to be there by 6. 6 is hard.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still, no matter how long I get up early, I'm still an old night dog, man. I'd rather stay, I'll blink and be 1 in the morning on Tuesday night, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I gotta be up in 3 hours, you know? But we'll see. I mean, you can listen to, like I say, every Monday through Friday on 103.9 here in Jackson, or you can just go search anywhere you download podcasts or YouTube. I load everything to YouTube also. Just save JXN on the YouTube, but the podcast is the Clay Edwards Show. And I named it different than the Save Jackson because I think that the Save Jackson has been good enough to me that I want to stay loyal to that being about, at least about Central Mississippi. So if I want to get onto a national political rant or talk about whatever's going on around the world, I said, let me just do that as the Clay Edwards. Try to separate the two. And why stop at one brand when you can build two? You know?
I love the logo.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know,
Look
so.
at that Clay.
So it's fun, man. And that was the thing. We did Jackson Central for a while. And that was when I said, well, anything Jackson related, we're just going to call it Save Jackson. Anything Clay related is going to be Clay. You know, just, we're going to keep it simple like that. We're going to stick with it. And if one works better than the other, we'll just change it all to that at some point down the road. But I'm not letting you go with the Save Jackson. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's become a bigger part of my identity than I ever thought it would be. Most people don't even know my name, but they know St. Jackson. You know,
They know that.
and people are learning the name. A lot of people know me. That's the funny thing. I was arguing with somebody not too long ago, or I saw somebody talking about me in a post not too long ago. Like Clay wouldn't be nobody if it wasn't for being on the Napoleon show. I'm like, no, hold on now. I've done a few things around here.
Hey.
Game recognized game. I'm very appreciative.
I knew you before the thing with Napoleon and all that.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to him. I give him a shout out anytime because I think that we should never forget the people that helped us get to where we're at. You know, no matter what. I know he catches a lot of flack from people. He gets a lot of love from people too. But I'll always be grateful. He's come down my road a time or two. But you know, it's just part of putting yourself out in public. But when people put you on, don't forget them. You know, he put me on the radio thing and live streaming stuff because I didn't have the confidence. I didn't think I could do it. You know, and I sat there and got to learn from somebody, and you know, I'm very appreciative. And then Kim Wade helped me out of it at the radio station.
How'd your interview go today?
We good. Well, I didn't do an interview today. I just went down. I just torched a dude that had been harassing me for about 4 years. Just finally had enough.
Yeah.
I got called to the principal's office at work at the radio station after I did it. But, you know, I was just like, man, enough. You know, I don't believe in cancel culture. We should all be able to have our own opinions.
True.
You know, you should be able to say whatever you want. Now, you may have to deal with the consequences of it. If you say something messed up enough, there's going to be consequences. But now it shouldn't be because of cancel culture. It should be because you're an idiot. Like, no, you know you can't say that online. You don't need to say it in private either if you know you can't say it online. But you can just be fired for saying some really racist or dumb stuff. It goes without saying. But this dude's been running around. Anybody that says anything pro-Trump or anything that's just not 100% pro whatever his beliefs are, calling them homophobic, Islamophobic, racist, white extremist, white nationalist, all these buzzwords. I finally just had enough. And when he admitted to taking joy in getting his fellow Mississippians fired from their job, all we hear about, you can't do this in the middle of a pandemic. You can't do this in the middle of a pandemic. But you're taking joy in getting your fellow Mississippians fired in the middle of a pandemic. What good does that do anybody? Whether you agree with their politics or not. I see stuff that makes me mad all the time. But I ain't never thought to myself, where do they work? Let me call their employer. Never once. That's bitch. That's
People that do that, you got some that really do that.
They do. I mean, it's just called cancel culture. And my goal with the Clay Edwards show is to cancel culture. You know, we're gonna go to war with it. At some point, you just got to stand up to it. You know, and say no. Not today, say.
All right. Okay, man. So How's the lovely wife that I wanted to meet so bad today, but I know she's not feeling well. But
I'm glad you brought Crystal up.
Yeah.
I get to run my mouth, and none of this would be possible without a supporting wife. The amount of time and effort and work that goes into this, she could easily sit there and say, we ain't doing this. But she's from South Jackson too, born and raised. So she was like, let's go look at this, let's go look at this, let's go look at this, And so she's been real supportive of it along the way, and she even did the podcast with me for a little while. But you try to protect your loved ones a little bit because I can say some wild things, and I don't want her catching any of that heat. So I kind of like, I appreciate your support, but you don't have to do this. But she's doing good. She's at home. She got the same sinus infection I had all week. But she's doing good. She wanted to come because she was like, well, do 7 o'clock instead of 9 so we can get back home. And she ended up not able to make it, but she loves this stuff.
yeah.
I'm sure she's watching now. My phone's been vibrating the whole time. So, hey, Crystal, love you. Be home shortly. So I'm telling you, I saw your post about there should be a day for single people.
Yeah.
And that just got me going down another rabbit hole that I want to talk about before we left. Is a lot of people are like, well, how did you get to doing radio 5 days a week? How did you get this big following? How did all this? Man, I settled down with somebody. I quit partying. I quit chasing stuff that was, going down rabbit holes and whatnot. Settle down. It's amazing how much free time you end up with when you quit chasing dumb shit. Start to find something to focus on and grind. Get you somebody who supports you. They really are out there. There really are people who like you just for you, love you just for you.
Thanks.
They want to see you be successful because they love you. When you find that person, quit the nonsense. Throw the phone away, clear out your contacts, whatever you got to do. Get a new number, start a new Facebook, start a new IG. None of that's going to matter when you're 70 years old and by yourself because you got a bunch of notches in your belt.
Right.
All right. Speak on that.
I don't want to. I ain't nobody to give anybody up to the first 41 years of my life. I couldn't give anybody a lick of a relationship advice with a straight face. But I met Crystal, man, and we've known each other for a long time, but just didn't know it. She tells me we knew it, but
Y'all been married for how long now?
a little over a year. We've been together for 3 years.
Yeah.
She tells me this story all the time about walking up and down the street and coming over to my house when we were like 14. She was like, I was trying to holler at you, but you weren't hearing it.
When she was 14?
I don't know, man. I would be 15, so maybe we were 15 and 16, whatever it was. But my sister hated you. I had on some kind of shirt or something. I don't know. She didn't like, but neither here nor there. We go back a long way, and it's just have to be patient, man. You never know how it's gonna circle back.
And y'all end up being married.
Yeah, man. I never. At 42, 41, 42, I rationalized the fact that I would never be married. I accepted the fact that I wasn't going to get married.
I think I've accepted that fact.
It's right when you think that boom. And I joke around. I slid in Crystal's DM. She hates me telling this story.
You ain't sliding the DM, did you,
I did it with the worst line ever. It's like, you look so familiar. I know you from somewhere. She said, you do know me. I'm so and so's cousin. I was like, that's right.
Man, that's the oldest trick in the book, man. That's the oldest trick right there.
She fell for it. She said, I wish she would quit telling me. We were at church doing this thing back on Valentine's. We went to this dinner at church and got up on stage, and they were doing these. They wanted like a newer married couple and somebody who was married X amount of time, and they were like, write down how you met on a piece of paper. And I wrote down slid in her DM.
Yeah.
And she was like, I can't believe you said that.
Hey, it's true though.
Oh man, it's all good. I remember seeing a buddy of mine a couple years ago. He had gotten married. He was like, man, guys, don't ever hate on me for sliding. Don't ever let anybody hate on you for sliding in a DM. You will slide into the right one at some point.
Alright. Just don't slide too many times.
Hey man, where would you rather meet somebody? Real talk. Would you rather meet them in the club or in a DM? I don't know. I mean, just different strokes, different folks. Now, if they don't ever want to meet up with you, they keep, well, I couldn't make it. Me and Crystal met like 2 days after we started talking. We had dinner. It put real life to it real quick. So I don't know. People used to always would tell me, you don't want to date anybody you meet in a bar. I'm like, well, I'm always in bars. I own them, you know?
Yeah.
So where am I going to meet somebody? Checking out at the grocery store and seeing a movie? Oh, you eat that too.
Well, you've met, you came back in contact with the love of your life.
Yeah, I got really
You know
lucky.
what I'm saying? So,
Really, she'd been married, lived out in Texas for a while, and didn't work out. Came back here. Yeah, no, she's been back here about a year. You know, and for real. So
oh,
works
such
for
a
me.
sweet love story.
Always.
To end the show.
Hey, look, man. Don't never be scared to be 100 about that. Show your feelings. You know. These cats out here, some of these guys acting so hard. You know, like they can't. And women are getting bad about it too. Acting so hard, like they can't fall in love. You know.
Oh.
But get you, man, like I say, get you one that believes in you, and you can tell real quick what somebody's intentions are. It don't take a rocket scientist to know what they're there for. You know? So find somebody that supports you, man. If you're passionate about something, you got somebody who lets you do it. That's the one.
And own it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because I can't imagine anybody else putting up with my stuff and actually liking it. You know, well, she pretends well. She doesn't. We'll say that.
Nah.
You know, I got like, I tell her all the time, like, man, I got like a 30, 45, 90-day rule when I first started dating somebody. Usually by about 30 days, they can't hide that crazy no more. And you might be able to get to about 45 days, but the snake's going to come out. Her snakes never came out, you know? So I was like, once we got about 90 days, I was like, shit, I ain't never made it this far. Hell, my snakes are about to come out. I've been trying to hide this crazy for 3 months.
What you do? You just went ahead and let your crazy cat
No,
out?
I didn't. She never done anything to pull it out. You know, I was like, man, maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe I was just with crazy people.
Yeah.
You know, we can all, you know, what's the other thing? You know, like some people do bring out the worst in each other.
True.
Toxic relationships.
Mm-hmm. So. Not that going around. Be toxic. For real. Well, Clay, I have definitely enjoyed these. Like, I could really just sit here and go on and on.
Yeah, look, man, we'll have to do it again. We have to come on the show, come do the podcast. We're going to just go uncensored, unedited, and go as long as we need to.
Most definitely. Gonna
You're
take
welcome
you
to
up
come on this
on
radio show
that.
anytime.
I'm gonna take you up on that. Do you have any encouraging words for our fellow podcasters and live streamers that's trying to do what we're doing?
Absolutely. Just hit play or live or record. Just don't overthink it. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. You know, I still get stuttered up, talking, lose my train of thought.
Man, I stutter so
All
much.
that
It
stuff.
don't make no sense.
Don't worry about
I
it.
didn't even know I stuttered. But I do.
You know, one thing I will tell somebody, a good friend of mine, Jake Wimberly, he does a sports talk here in Jackson. As I was getting started, he gave me some advice that dead silence is okay. But don't feel like you just got to slow down. If you get hung up, just take a breath. Then pick back up. And I do that a lot. So I'll get ahead of myself. My brain will start moving faster than my mouth can. And I like to slow down. Right. My dad told me the other day, he said, I was listening to the show. You're getting better. I could understand the phone number. Call in. You're slowing down. I was like, 879-0002. What? I talk fast for a Southern, apparently.
I talk loud. Like, hey, y'all know this me, golly. I'm trying to hold it in there. But my voice carries, and and people be thinking like I'm yelling and stuff. I'm like, oh, no, I talk loud anyway. Accept it. Seriously. How can we reach you? How can, like your social media and all that good stuff?
Any of the Save Jackson pages, I'm active. I answer all my DMs. Maybe not within minutes, but I do get to them. It may take me a day or two. My Gmail is the best way. SaveJXN@gmail.com. That's the easiest way to do it. I thought I'd just put my phone number out there, which too many crazy folks. But the Gmail is the best way to do it. SaveJXN@gmail or any of my social media DMs. Instagram, I'm the worst on Instagram.
Oh man, Instagram is the worst for me too.
Yeah.
Like all my traffic on Facebook, you know, and like Instagram's so hard for me. But I'm gradually, like when I first started the 5K Chronicles my Instagram page, like, man, it took me forever to even get like 20, you know what I'm saying, followers.
When you gotta get them like that, like Twitter's been my worst. Like I don't like Twitter anyway.
I don't even do Twitter.
But I just got it there as a placeholder, you know, because I don't want somebody else to go be Save Jackson on Twitter. You know, I already get people starting fake profiles of Save Jackson. I have to fight with that.
Man.
You know, so anyhow, Twitter's just there. I send my podcast out to it. I'll retweet something every now and then. But really, I use Twitter to bark at the governor. I don't like him either. For clear, you may only see me barking at Chokwe. I hate Take Two. So he's a do nothing ass governor. I ended at that.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. I promise.
Yeah.
You know, not a fan.
I'm gonna end on that. I'm gonna leave that one alone, cause we can go on and on. We can get deep in that one, but we're gonna let that one ride for real.
Not my guy.
I'm gonna leave that there. Yeah. We want to thank Clay Edwards for swinging down on the Fox K
I
Chronicles.
want to thank y'all. I want to thank you for the hospitality. I want to thank you for the opportunity to come and talk to you folks. You know, I think more people need to sit down and have these kind of conversations.
Most definitely.
You know, get in front of different folks.
And get to know people, man, before you judge people and all that stuff. You know, like, seriously, like, get to know a person.
Well, everybody wants to jump at you with clap back stuff. Just clap back. Everybody wants to be a smart ass. Everybody wants to, you know, get it, you know, get that rib in, and we don't sit down and just talk enough anymore. I'm bad about it too. That's why I say everybody, I'm referring to myself. I know people, I'll read something the wrong way and be like, well, do. You know? So I appreciate the opportunity, man. Good long form conversation. Good.
You're welcome back anytime.
Touche. Thank you.
Yo, listen, we want to send a shout out to my team, man. Rooster Black is in the cave tonight. Say something, Rooster.
Something, Rooster. I'm in here.
Jonathan Highlands, we want to send a shout out to him as well, doing his thing with he's becoming a true artist. His paintings, his masterpieces that he's doing, like he's having so much success with that. So we go shout out to our teammate Jonathan Highlands. Shout out to all my wonderful sponsors for season 2 of the Fox K Chronicles. Ayana Pride, Steve Hendricks Tattoos and Piercings right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Cliff Brewster, Palmo Valvo, 740 Lobster Street, Jackson, Mississippi. Arthur Toy, LaToya Lawson. Make sure y'all pick up that Ma Sitter book series on Amazon and check out her videos on YouTube. Bonita McGee, thank you so much for being a sponsor. Serena Davis over there at Paradise Skates and Events. 2460 Terry Road, Suite 1600, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Make sure you check out Lip Sync Fridays every Friday night. Doors open at 9 and the show starts at 11, and the skating rink is now open as well. So come on out, support, have a good time. Shout out to OG Snap as well. Thank you for being a Red Fox sponsor, Snap. We wait on that album to drop. If you or anyone you know would like to be a sponsor for season 2 of the Fox K Chronicles, shoot me a message. I can give you the details about the 3 sponsor packages that I have available. You could do Arctic Fox, you could do Silver Fox, or you could do Red Fox. Either way, you can't lose.
Hey, I want to add to that. Sponsoring these kind of podcasts and these kind of streams can go so much further than trying to throw this wide net out on like pop radio or hip hop radio or top 40 and stuff like that. Because this is a very target audience. It's localized. People believe what we, you know, they're following us, or they take our word for what we promote. I don't accept advertisers that I don't believe in. I don't have any national advertisers. You know, I stick with locally on.
Yep, all of mine's are local.
And I spend money with my advertisers. I don't accept anything free from them. USA Palm, one of my sponsors. We went and bought bullets there the other day. I got a barbecue company that I rub. So give me free rubs. I'll order them offline so I don't have to argue with them about it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just support the people.
Support.
These are people I'd be doing business with anyway. So just because they sponsor me doesn't mean, well, now I get a discount. Oh, I just slide in when the owners aren't there and spend my money and get out because I'm not giving them a discount.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, they're trusting in me.
And we all got to eat.
Yep.
That's how I look at it. We all got to eat.
I gave away way too much beer, and way too many free cover charges in the Nightclub days. I gotta get back. I can't work for free no more.
It's time to get back. Oh, May 15th, that's on a Saturday, y'all. I will be in Vicksburg for the new UBL versus the old UBL rap battle. If y'all not doing anything, Saturday, May the 15th, 15th, ride on down to Vicksburg and come join me. I am one of the official sponsors for the rap battle, and I will be interviewing the battle rappers and watching the battle. I will not be going live for the battle. I will be live streaming the interviews with the battle rappers, but I will not be going live for this battle. Y'all gonna have to come on out. You're gonna have to come on out and support, or you're gonna have to wait until they broadcast it after. But if you ain't doing that, to come join me, because this is preparing me for the Fox Cave Chronicles rap battle, which is coming June the 12th. That's on a Saturday as well. I will be giving y'all more details about that. We're still in the makings of getting all this together, but my rap battle is coming as well, so I'm excited about that. The whole battle rap experience, I'm super excited to be a part of it. So big old shout out to Stat and the UBL for letting the Fox Cave Chronicles be a part of this battle. We're excited about that. What else do we have coming up, Carlito?
You pretty much
The Fox Cave Chronicles reunion concert for season 2 will be in August this time. So y'all, we'll be giving y'all more details about that. You know, it was in February for season 1, so it'll be a little warm. It will be a little warmer now. So we're preparing the theme for the Fox Cave Chronicles reunion concert for season 2. So just be on the lookout for more details about that.
The award show.
The award show. We're going to end the year with the Fox Cave Chronicles Award Show in December. We need to start working on our categories and all that, nominations and everything for that, like ASAP.
Yeah.
So, y'all, this will be a red carpet event. So, you know, the Fox Cave Chronicles reunion concert for season 1 was the red carpet theme. Hollywood comes to Jackson. But for the award show, I need y'all to really bring it. I'm talking about go all out. Like, really go all out for the award show. I want y'all to pull out. I know y'all pulled it out for the reunion concert, but for the award show, I want y'all to really just
Extra.
Yes, that's the word. That's
Extra.
the word. That's the
Get
word.
get IG ready.
That's the word. That's the word. That's the word. Yes. All donations for the Fox Cave Chronicles is accepted, y'all. Cash app, $FOXXYFIT. That's $Foxy Fit. Send them in. All donations go straight to the show. Y'all know we're trying to upgrade this thing. So send the donations in. For real, for real. Tune in next at 9 o'clock. We got Smiles by Chubb in the Fox Cave. We're gonna be chopping it up with him about those grills he be making, man. I might give me one. So I can be like this. For real, for real. Thank y'all for tuning in. I've enjoyed Clay Edwards chopping it up with him tonight. And like I said, you're always welcome back to the Fox Cave Chronicles. And I can't wait to come be on your radio show.
Open invitation.
Gonna let me sing on that?
Do whatever you want.
Oh, have a good time.
We just can't cuss, and trust me, it's hard. That's why I have to really take the deep breath.
Man, cuss. God darn it, I'm gonna have to
I have a little signs on
I'm
those
gonna have
that
to
don't
find
cuss.
some alternative for my curseness.
I just say, you ever listen to my show and I'm like, that's terrible. That's usually what I'm doing. Fuck. I was like, that's terrible.
Well, I can't wait to come. I can't wait. I can't wait. Shout out to my manager. Y'all already know what it is. And shout out to Designers Grill, 3028 West Northside Drive, where we hold all the Fox Cave Chronicles events and shows. So big old shout out to Designers Grill. Got to tune in at 9. We out of here.